So here we're asked to, it's a 2016 junior cert higher level paper. So, and we're asked to multiply it and simplify this. So say if we just had x and we wanted to square it, well, we just put a square on the x, so that would be just x squared. And say if we just had 5x and we just wanted to square that, we just put square the 5, which is 25, and square the x, which is x squared. But when we have two things in a bracket and they're separated by a plus or separated by a minus, we have to multiply that bracket out. So x plus 5 squared will be just anything squared is it by itself. So it will be x plus 5 by x plus 5. And then when we have two brackets being multiplied by each other, what we have to do is we have to split the first bracket, and it's the first thing by the second bracket and then the second thing by the second bracket. So that's going to be x by x plus 5 plus 5 by x plus 5. So x by x is going to give me x squared, x by 5 is going to give me 5x, 5 by x is going to give me 5x, and 5 by 5 is going to give me 25. So then, if I put my two x's together, it'll be x squared plus 10x plus 25. And that's that multiplied out and simplified as much as it will go. So say when we have, say it's important we have two things being multiplied by each other and there's a plus or say a minus. We just have to make sure that we actually, the brackets, we can't just kind of take a shortcut. We have to say multiply them all out. So that's that one. And then so then the next question is hence or otherwise. Hence or otherwise show that the expression is always divisible by 4. So they wanted to show that x plus 5 squared minus x minus 5 squared is always divisible by 4. So, well, the first thing that we're going to need, so we're already after figuring out what x plus 5 squared is. So x plus 5 squared is, this is x squared plus 10x plus 25. But now we should probably get x minus 5 squared. So that's minus whatever x minus 5 squared is. So I'm also going to multiply that out and get x minus 5 squared. So x minus 5 squared is going to be x minus 5. So it's different when there's a minus by x minus 5. So we have to split the first bracket and then the first half by the second. So x by x minus 5 and then minus 5 by x minus 5. So that'll be x by x, which will give me x squared, and then x by minus 5, which will give me minus 5x, and then minus 5 by x, which will give me minus 5x, and 5 by 5, which will give me 25. So then we can group our minus 5x's together, so minus 10x plus 25. So that's x minus 5 squared. So x plus 5 squared, so it's x plus 5 squared minus, so I'm going to do this out and subtract them. So the first one is x plus 5 squared. We got this from the previous answer already, and then it's minus whatever the other one is, so minus x squared minus 10x plus 25. So when I have a minus in front of a bracket, that means I'm minusing everything in that bracket, so that becomes a minus. That's minus 10, so that becomes a plus 10, and this becomes a minus. So my first kind of one doesn't change, and then it becomes minus x squared, so that's minus 10, which will be plus 10x, and then minus plus 25 will be that's going to be minus 25, and minus by a plus is a minus. So then we have x squared minus x squared, so that's just going to be 0, and then we have I'm after cancelling the wrong thing, x squared and x squared, and then plus 25 minus 25. So 25 minus 25, and then I have 10x plus 10x, so that's 20x. So, but 20x can be written as 4 multiplied by 5x. So that's written as 4 multiplied by something. Well, that means it's always going to be divisible by 4 if I can write it as 4 bracket whatever everything else. So that means that that one is always going to be divisible by 4. And then the next thing I was asked to do is factorize each of the following expressions. So I have 25x squared minus 49n squared. So when I have to factorize, I would think of my list of all the ways I can factorize that I know how to factorize. The first is highest common factor. That's when I see that they have a highest a factor that I can take out that's common to both, and I don't really see that in this. The next one I can use is grouping. The next one I can use is a difference of two squares. So these are the 4 different ways. Difference of two squares, and then finally it is quadratics. So if I was to kind of go through this and see, well, which one am I going to use? Well, highest common factor, we need to have a factor that's common to both of them, and I don't really see anything that's common. So grouping, we generally have 4 terms, and we only have 2 here. Difference of two squared is, and we can write it as one thing squared. Say if you have x squared minus y squared, x squared minus x all squared, the first thing all squared minus the second one all squared. We have to learn that, say if we have a question like this, it's going to be the first thing minus the second thing, and then the first thing plus the second thing. But our question here, we haven't got it actually written yet as one thing all squared minus another thing all squared, but we can write it like that. So we could write 25x squared as 5x, and that's all squared, and we can write 49n squared as minus, so the minus just stays there, we're just going to write the 49n, so 7n all squared. So now we have one thing squared minus another, and we know that's the first thing minus the second thing, and the first thing plus the second thing. So that's 5x minus 7n, and then 5x plus 7n. So that's that one, factorize as much as it will go. That's that one, and then so then the next one that's on the paper is so we're asked, so we are given this, we're asked to factorize this as well. So 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. So as in the last video, I showed that there's 2 different ways to factorize when there's something greater than 1 here. So the first way I'm going to use is the guide number method. So what we do is we multiply the thing that has a square, x squared, by the thing that doesn't have anything attached to it. And then what we get called our guide number. So sometimes we call it GN, or guide number. So 2 by minus 18, that's going to give me minus 36. So, and then I'm looking for the factors of minus 36 that add to give 9. So the factors of minus 36, because it's a minus, I would have multiplied a minus and a plus to get it. So I could have had minus 36 by 1, or 36 by minus 1. I could have had 18 by minus 2, or minus 18 by 2. I could have had so 12 by minus 3, or minus 12 by 3. I could have had, what else could I have had? I could have had 9 by minus 4, or minus 9 by 4. And I'll leave it at that because I think I have a pair that will work. So I'm going to put in, so it's going to be minus 12x and then plus 3x. So instead of writing minus 9x, it's going to be minus 12x plus 3x. And then I'm going to bring down my minus 18 and my 2x squared. So then I have to factorize the first 2 terms. So what do I take out? That's that's both common. So there's going to be 2x and then x minus 6. And what could I take out of this that would be common? So 3. And then I'd be left with x minus 6. So now our brackets are matching, so I'm on the right track. So I bring my 2x and my plus 3 together in a bracket. So 2x plus 3 and my x minus 6 together in a bracket. And that's that factorized. But I'm also going to do it the other way that some students do. Depends on what way your teacher does it. So 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. So we have to first say 2 brackets, or we could say, it's kind of like the box method. So first we put a 2x, so the 2 things here have to multiply to give 2x squared, and then x by one of the, and here we put the multiples of minus 18, and x by one of those multiples plus 2x by one of those multiples has to add to give the minus 9 in the middle number. So say the factors of minus 18, we could have had minus 18 by 1, 18 by minus 1, minus 9 by 2, or 9 by minus 2, and then we could have 6 by minus 3, or say we could have had minus 6 by 3. So, and then we also could have had, so So we have to figure out a pair of these that one when we multiply one by 2x and the other when we multiply by x will give us minus 9. So say if we picked, say if we had 2x, so say if we had minus 6 and 3. So say if we had minus 6 here. So or say if we had minus 3 and 6. So say if we had, say if we put minus 6 here, so then that would be x by minus 6, and, or will we pick another one? Say actually if we put a 3, say if we multiply x by 3 and then 2 by minus 6. So minus 6 here and 3. So x by 3 is going to be 3x. 2 by minus 6 is going to be, 2x by minus 6 is minus 12x. That's already going to give us minus 9x. So then we have 2x in this, 2x in this. And the first one, we're going to put 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3 and then x minus 6 in our second one. So that's the two different methods. We can use factorizing, or we can by the guide number method, or we can do kind of the box number method. So that is our question. Thank you.